All I had to do was kick the ladder as I jogged past.
But there's this other geezer out jogging, but, like, he's coming from the other way.
But then I saw this kid on his bicycle, doing all these stunts, you know, the sort of thing. He almost ran into me just as I got near Baron. So I gave him a wide berth and carried on past.
I don't think I hit the ladder hard, like I just sort of caught it. But it came down, and the geezer came down with it, hit the ground with his head. I'm sorry. Honest.
Roy?
It's a pretty sorry mess, Morse. First you've got Baron murdering Rep and Flynn, then you've got Simon Harrison killing Baron, and then you've got, oh no, oops-a-daisy, that was Roy Holmes with his bike. And that was an accident anyway, so you have to let both of them go. The coroner's going to have fun with that lot. And where does it leave Yvonne Harrison? Suicide?
She wasn't killed by Baron, that much I'm almost sure of.
Well, Simon Harrison thought she was.
All he knew is they were having an affair, if you call it that.
What does Lewis think?
Lewis?
You do take his opinions into account sometimes, I hope. Teamwork, Morse.
Is that all, sir?
As long as you're sure you're on top of this case. I can always arrange for you to take things easier until you go, if you prefer it.
Thank you. No, sir.
Right.
Wagner, Lewis?
Parsifal.
Yes, I know.
Vienna Philharmonic, conducted by the name Knappersbush.
Well, thou art a man of taste. Keep it up. Incidentally, we pronounce it Knappersbush.
Right, I'll try and remember.
It's the right shape, right size. It's a bit heavier than I'd thought. Might have killed Yvonne Harrison.
But did it?
I'm not a detective, Morse.
How about an informed guess?
Certainly not. I inform you, and then you do the guessing. That's the usual procedure.
Any joy with the blood in the stolen car?
Two different blood groups. Flynn and Rep. Pretty widespread, as you'd expect from their wounds. And both groups evident in the prints that were lifted according to Dabbs, prints which mostly belonged to John Barron.
If you ask me, then, sir, John Barron's accident saved us a lot of trouble.
Is that what they teach on the inspector's course? How to save yourself trouble?
Not got long to go now, has he? Retirement.
Oh.
You thought I was speaking as a doctor?
Supposing you were.
He's not my patient. You care about him, don't you? He doesn't make it easy.
Magdalen Bridge was built in 1772 and spans the River Charwell. The bridge draws on the classical tradition of Oxford architecture. Now, everybody, it's time to go. Come along now, please.
Let's have a nice smile. You just sit down. Smile, please. That cup of tea, eh? Thank you. Yeah, she left it on the bus.
We're moving on now. Tea in Woodstock. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were with us.
Well, you were wrong.
In essence, then, you apportion your estate equally between the Young Musicians Scholarship Fund, Miss Adele Cecil of in Australia, and your colleague, Sergeant Robert Lewis. As far as leaving your body to the Radcliffe, you'll have to get a form from them. Though they're not obliged to take you when the time comes. A fluctuating demand for cadavers, apparently. Unless you go from something especially exotic, I imagine. Right to the top of the heap.
I doubt I'll manage exotic. Banal, I suspect.
Oh, yes. No service of any sort, religious or otherwise.
Expressly forbidden.
That's Barron's widow, Linda. Debbie Rep, you know. Frank Harrison.
Weddings and funerals, they loosen tongues in my experience. So eyes and ears, Lewis.
Sir, Paddy Flynn's widow, Josie.
Not another of Barron's conquests. Did the man ever do any work?
Therefore commit its body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
In the midst of life.
Mr. Harrison?
Inspector...
Chief Inspector Morse, sir.
Yes, you spoke to me at the house when I found my wife.
That's right. Well, a good turnout, as they say.
John was well liked in the village. We're a tight little community. I'm sorry about Simon leading you that silly dance. He and his mother were very close.
Do you believe Baron killed her?
It's quite possible, isn't it? He could have been lying about phoning her when he said. I did, by the way, know about their goings-on before you asked.
Did your daughter?
She does now.
Weren't you angry with your wife?
We'd been married over 30 years. Yvonne was a woman of considerable appetite for life.
And you, Mr. Harrison?
Once upon a time. A few wild oats, haven't we all? Excuse me, Liz Holmes used to be our cleaner. I think she must be feeling so dreadful about what's happened.
Sir, Mrs. Flynn.
I'm sorry about your husband.
Me too, in a way. Even if I did throw him out.
Mrs. Flynn was just telling me how well she knew John Barrington.
Bless him. I met John through Paddy. Wow, there are some men who just, you know, do it for you. Fit, funny when it's called for, imaginative. Well, Paddy failed 3 out of 3.
The money that was found, that your husband had.
Oh, no. No idea. Good luck to the poor sod, though. He'd have needed it soon enough. Not a sniff of work after the taxi sacked him.
Why was that?
He was going deaf. Couldn't hear his radio. And Paddy never had a rich daddy to set him up in his own little business.
Do you know Simon Harrison?
Paddy did. Lip-reading classes. For all the good it did him. Hello. So sorry, Mrs. Barron. Josie Flynn.
Oh, thank you. There's a little something at the Maidens, if you'd like to join us.
Eyes and ears.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you'll have to give me a ride in that car one day.
She's cheery for this sort of do.
What was Sandra Harrison's alibi?
For her mother's murder. She said she spent the evening in her flat because she'd sprained her ankle at work. It was checked. Quite a serious sprain according to the casualty nurse.
I wonder how deaf Paddy Flynn was.
Why, sir?
Would he have heard the burglar alarm, even if it was ringing?
My husband played the field, Mr. Morse. No point pretending he didn't. Still, I knew what he was like when I married him.
I wondered, Mrs. Barron, I don't want to upset you, but did it ever cross your mind that your husband might have been deliberately killed?
Before I knew it was an accident, first thing that went through my mind. Jealous husband, one of his bits that wasn't getting enough. Spread himself thin, did John.
Your boss ought to keep his hand on his halfpenny. Man-eater, that one. Even used to wear poor old John out.
Occupational hazard for Barron, from what I hear of the bloke.
It's a good job he was fit. The only time I knew his strike rate to go down was when he had his op. Funny that. He was never a worrier, John. And that's how you get horses, isn't it? Worry.
Where was John Barron in hospital?
Down the Radcliffe.
Gastro thingy?
Yeah, if you say so.
Chaz, 2 more of them single malts, please. Make them big ones. Get the chill out. You're much more fun than your sergeant.
Is he waiting for me?
Tim, you're enjoying yourself.
Cheers.
To you. What's your first name?
Inspector.
Jeez.
Can you keep a secret? Confidentially, Debbie. We suspect John Barron killed your husband.
Why do you think I came to see the bastard go 6 foot under? Whatever Harry did, he didn't deserve that. Go on. Drink up.
What did Harry do?
Go on. Eat, drink, and be merry for tomorrow. What is it? For tomorrow never comes? No, what is it?
I don't remember. Harry.
Are you just talking to me because you want to know about him?
No. I think I do know. He was there that night, wasn't he?
Never talked to a copper, Harry said.
Does it matter now? 3 men dead, 3 widows, and poor, poor Yvonne.
He was going to do the house. But when he saw John go in, he cleared off sharpish. Then he heard about the murder and thought it was John who'd killed her.
And threatened to blackmail.
But John told him he'd seen who'd really done it. And so had Paddy Flynn. So they all got together and made a lot of money. Except Paddy and Harry kept going on all the time at him for more. John must have had enough. Lost it with them.
And?
Who killed Yvonne? You're the clever one. All John said to me was, a bit of class, darling. You wouldn't tell Aaron either.
Quite right, Lewis. Time to go.
You are clever there, aren't you?
For what it's worth. A bit early, isn't it, Roy?
What?
Watt's dead long ago, and Pardon took its place.
What?
Is that it? I just hope you weren't stoned at Burford that morning.
Nah, not at all, honest.
How old are you? 16?
So, how old were you when you started drinking?
This is illegal. Albeit a pathetic little slap on the wrist quantity. Spend your money on something better, like a book. You can't afford it.
Nah. Come on, rehearsal.
Ask Sergeant Lewis to come and see me, would you please?